Shout out Big Jeff. Big Jeff Audio, a few weeks back, sent me a couple of amplifiers and some other stuff. I apologize it's taken me so long to get them on the dyno. Had some technical difficulties just growing out of space, but that's okay. We've got it taken care of, and we've got it here today. So this is a Marts Digital 3500 watt 1 ohm amp, and right now you can get these over at Big Jeff Audio for $499.99. But you'll also save 5% if you use the code BassDad5OFF. BassDad5OFF will save you 5% on whatever you buy, including this Marts amplifier. Now, this amplifier comes in a really neat looking package. It's got a nice lightning bolt on it, some red writing. The cardboard seems quality. It seems like they took care of it. They also packaged it really well. You can see that you have a owner's manual, you have some Allen keys, they wrapped it in plastic, and they have these big black styrofoam end caps there to keep it secure. All right, let's take a closer look at this side of the amp. Now, this is the power side, and you can see two cooling fans on both sides, and those are active fans. We also have two 4-gauge ground and power inputs, as well as a 8-gauge remote wire, because we all need that. Also, there's a warning about not using a fuse. That is a good idea to use a fuse because this is not internally fused. All right, let's get it turned around. Now, as we take a look at the other side, the first thing I see is that it's minimalistic, it's sleek. I like it, it looks clean. It does have a warning under the speaker terminals about high voltage. That is something to definitely be careful about. The speaker leads, we've got one 8-gauge positive and one 8-gauge negative, so you can get a couple of wires in there if you need to. I still would have preferred to see dual sets of speaker leads. Now, moving over to the adjustments, we have a gain, a frequency, a high pass, a low pass, limiter, and level, followed by a couple of non-Tiffany RCA's inputs. You can also see lots of venting on this side. No fans, but lots of venting. 11.5 inches foot to foot, 10.5 inches for the width, 2 3/4 for the height. Now let's check the weight. So 9.040 pounds. I know some of you guys like looking in these amplifiers, so let's take the back off, see what it's got going on inside. I am definitely not any kind of expert about amplifier insides, so sorry, it's not quite time. Stick around till the end and we'll look at it then. All right, let's turn on our old school Alpine and load up our SMD Demore Engineering 81 test tone CD.
Enter the world of Alpine mobile electronics, car audio systems, mobile cellular telephones, mobile security systems, all with quality that could only come from one source.
Alpine, nice touch.
Lamborghini has the Alpine touch.
All right, guys, let's start with our first test, and that's going to be the 4 ohm sine wave test, what we call an uncertified test. Now, right here is where you're going to see your amps. Over here is where you see your voltage. And down here is where you're going to see the wattage readout. The DD1 will tell us our signal. All right, let's go. 4 ohms, uncertified. Looks like we got right at 1980 with 175 amps, 14.41 volts, which gives us an efficiency of 78%. All right, now it's time for the dynamic test. What this does is send a 40 hertz burst tone to the amplifier so we can measure it, and we get at 4.3 ohms, 2,060 watts. That's a whole 560 watts more than rated. All right, time for the 2 ohm test. 40 hertz uncertified 2 ohm test. All right. Wow. 3,199 watts, guys. We dropped down to 13.09 volts and drew 369 amps, and that gave us a efficiency of 61%. Now it's time for the 2 ohm burst test. It's just the same as before, but at 2 ohms. Looks like we've got 3901. So 3,901 watts at 2 ohms, which definitely shows that this amplifier has great dynamic headroom. It's ridiculous. It's already doing its 1 ohm score at 2 ohms. All right, it is time for the 1 ohm test. Uncertified. Oh, wow. So we got 3,907 watts, pulling right at 560 amps. And the efficiency is a little low this time. It's right at 55.50%. All right, 1 ohm dynamic test. Let's see what we get. Oh, wow. Still counting. It's like 6,194. That's incredible. So it definitely has some dynamic headroom. It helps, too, that we were able to keep the voltage a little higher this time. Okay, and as I promised, here is your gut shot. Now, like I say, I am not an expert by any means, but if you are, feel free to comment below and tell us what you see. Is this amp quality? Are the things inside of it quality? It seems to be really well built. Or are guts just guts?
Guts are guts!
The Marts amp is ridiculously awesome. It definitely did its thing. It's supposed to only do 3,500 watts. It was doing 3,900 at 2 ohms. So it did 3,900 at 2 ohms. It's just well underrated for that price. It killed its own, ratings every time, every test. No problems, didn't even struggle. We've got a lot of good stuff coming up on Bass Dad, a lot of good interviews coming up. I've got Will Savard, we've got the guys from Black Brick, we've got the guys from Massive Audio. We've got all those interviews that I've told you that I did that I have not edited. I am working, I'm pushing myself to push those out. So this is gonna be a really busy year for Bass Dad. Thank you so much. I hope that you had a happy Thanksgiving. I hope that you have a Merry Christmas. All right, we'll see you next time, guys. And as always, you can watch more of my videos right here on YouTube right now. Point like 7.65 resistive load. So let's see what happens when we hit it right here. So you guys ready? So we can get out of it. All right, I got no idea what's going to happen, guys. I've got this thing wired down to 0.5 ohm. It didn't like it at 0.67, so it's probably not going to like it at 0.5, but I'm gonna run it anyway and see what happens. Guys, you ready? Dynamic track 0.5 on a Marts, and this thing is not supposed to run at 0.5, guys. This is being stupid. Like, I wasn't gonna do this, but you know, oh well. It is doing it. Oh wow. Wow, it's doing it. Holy crap. Holy crap, man. That is crazy. Wow, that is crazy. A Marts 3500 watt amp, and it did it really good. Actually, I didn't think it would do that at all.